Hi, everybody, and welcome to your weekly Thrive series where we are focusing on sharing different pieces of information, knowledge, ideas to ensure that your business not only survives but also thrives throughout these unique times. And today I want to pop in really with a bit of a reminder. And you've probably heard us saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast every day of the week. And I think now more than ever, we are being reminded of how relevant this saying is and the truth within it. It's not saying that it's not important to have a strategy, to have a plan, to look at what is, the next steps and the process going forward. But the foundational elements of having a culture in place to drive that strategy forward cannot be underestimated. So really have a think about what is the culture of your business? Who is responsible for driving that culture, for impacting that culture? The reality is that the culture will change dependent on the people within the business or within the team. So a part of what also drives culture is values. Now you can have the best set of values printed out, put up on the wall, you've sent emails, it's on your PDs, you're communicating it, but that doesn't mean that those values are being lived. And the people in your team, they are living a set of values. Whether or not they're aligned to the values that you see as the business values is a different story. And sometimes there's a misalignment. So really take some time to think about what drives culture and what is the culture in my business currently. So some things for you to consider. Do you have a really clear vision or vision and mission and purpose that your team, that you can really get behind? If you don't believe it, your team definitely won't. But also, just because you believe it doesn't mean that your team will. So really check in with your vision, your mission, your purpose, and the meaning, and if people believe in it. And you can do some work around that. Have a look at what are the values in the business. So look at it through two different lenses. The first is, what do I see as the values in the business that I want to be lived, for the business to breathe? And what are the values that I'm observing? Because again, just because you have those values in place doesn't mean they're being lived. And people will create the culture of an environment. So check in with the values. Are the values of the business actually being lived and breathed? Again, if they're not, then that's an area of focus that you can work on. And of course, check in with yourself first. You can't expect, if you're not living the values, for your team to do so. Think about, do we have a common goal to strive for? What are we here to do in terms of vision and purpose and perhaps mission? But what's actually the specific goal here? Do you have a goal for what does a successful month look like? What does a successful week look like? As well as a quarter, a half year, a full year. You might have revenue goals and a different kind of goal to go after, which could be around values or vision or engagement. Have both. Have something aligned to business, to revenue, but something else as a measure of success. And revisit the parameters of what that used to be. Does it need to change? What's a daily goal that we're here to achieve? So also a reminder to check back into something that we talked about a few weeks ago around the connection piece, the certainty piece, the fun piece. These three key areas will also help you drive a really great culture within your team and within your business. And the final things to consider here is really understanding how have these things changed over the last 2 to 3 months. Does your vision and your mission and your purpose still fit into this new look world? Is it still as relevant, or does it need to be tweaked at all? What about the values? Have you actually found that there's a value missing? Is it time to revisit and redo all of these key things, to come together as a team and figure out what are the values that are important to us as a team, as a business? So really check in with New Look World, the new normal, and make sure that the previous, the recent, the old values, vision, mission, goals that you're striving for, that they are still relevant right here, right now. And if you're thinking, whoa, I don't even have those things in place, then you know what you need to do. I've just given you a really simple roadmap of key things to focus on to make sure that your culture is moving your business in the right direction and that it's a place that people really want to be. Because if you don't have the culture in place, if your team aren't living the values, bringing that vision and purpose to life, having a sense of achievement and purpose in achieving the goals that you're setting out for them. If you don't have those things in place, it doesn't matter what strategy or plan you have, you are limiting the potential of success and of high performance. So I trust that this has been valuable, and I'd love to hear how you go and how you stacked up in looking at these key areas of your business.